one, polygamous marriages are valid in Nigeria, so long as they are not marriages that were entered into statutorily. That is number one thing that the law permits in Nigeria. The number two thing that the law permits in Nigeria is that in polygamy, under Islamic law, a man is permitted to marry up to 4 wives. So long as he can take care of those women, so long as he can treat them fairly, equally, Islam permits a man to marry up to 4 wives. And under the general native law and custom, if it were a customary marriage outside of Islam, there is no prescription of a limit. So it means that a man can marry as much as 10, 1,500 wives if he thinks he has the capacity to take care of them and to manage all of them fairly. So there is no prescribed limit under customary law, but under Islam, there is a prescription of 4 wives limit in polygamous marriages. The other thing will be that children born in polygamous marriages are also entitled to inheriting from their parents. So the same way that children born in monogamous homes are entitled to inheriting from their father and their mother, children who are born in polygamous homes are also entitled to inheriting from their parents. So there is no discrimination against the rights of a child on the basis of the form of marriage that their parents have. No, that is not permissible. The law permits and actually protects for children to inherit their parents regardless of the kind of marriage their parents have. And then the last thing that the law permits will be to say, or the last thing I want to talk about tonight that the law permits, is that children born in polygamous homes are also entitled to their parents observing and protecting their best interests. So on any subject that affects a child, whether that child was born in a polygamous home or in a monogamous home, it is immaterial. What is material is that that child's best interest is protected and respected. So the duty of parents to take care of their children, to maintain their children, to ensure that their children's upkeep, are responsibly carried out, persists even in a polygamous home, just as all other rights that our laws have, prescribed for children. Those rights persist even in polygamous marriages, in polygamous homes. So it does not matter, it is inconsequential that marriage is monogamous or polygamous. So long as it is a valid marriage, and I say that again because if polygamy happens in a marriage where marriage has been entered into statutorily, that means the offense of bigamy can be activated. It means that it's not a legitimate marriage. But if it happens where the marriages were contracted under native law and custom, then it is a valid marriage, and the children of that marriage are entitled to every right and privilege, benefits, that their counterparts in monogamous homes are entitled to. So those are the 4 things I wanted to talk about as to what the law permits. And what are the things that the law prohibits? What does the law, forbid when it comes to polygamous marriages? The first thing I would like to say is, just as I had mentioned the point immediately before, the law forbids for a marriage under statute to become polygamous. So nobody is entitled or permitted to get married to another person when they are already in a monogamous marriage that is statutorily contracted. So if it is a marriage under statute, if it is a statutory marriage, they are not permitted to, become polygamous. They cannot. It is not permissible. So the law forbids that. Polygamy can only happen under Islamic marriages or marriages under native law and custom. The other thing is that polygamy does not justify any form of domestic abuse. It does not matter that a marriage is polygamous. The respect, the observance of the law against domestic abuse will persist even in a polygamous home. So what it means is that the persons in that home, including the wives and the children, will be entitled to the protection of their rights, to the protection and the respect of the dignity of their human persons. It means that any action that seems to subjugate them, to threaten them, to harm them, to frighten them, anything that humiliates them will be unlawful. So it is immaterial that that marriage is polygamous. Every human being's right to the respect of the dignity of their human person will persist even in a polygamous marriage. And then the other thing will be to say that the law forbids the happening of any unnatural relations even in polygamy. So what that means is that just as the law forbids incest, the law forbids bestiality, the law forbids sodomy, the law forbids unnatural sexual relations. That persists even in polygamy. So that is to say that since it is unnatural for a man to marry a woman, or for a man and a woman to have relations, and the law in Nigeria forbids it specifically, it therefore means that any marriage, polygamous or not, that purports to create a relation that is perceived as unnatural by the laws of Nigeria will not stand. It will be offending the law. The law forbids it, just as any relations that will involve an animal or people who are of immediate blood relations, such as to construe incest. So those are the things that are forbidden in polygamy in Nigeria. This is intended to be quite brief so that, I've just been notified that the network was shaky, such that my technical support is not sure that you got all of what I said. So I'll do a brief recap. I tried to explain to us the different concepts around polygamy, which we sometimes mistakenly just subsume, or misapply when we want to refer to one or the other. So polygamy generally is just the marriage of a person to multiple spouses, whether male or female. That is what polygamy is. And then we have polyandry, which is the marriage of one woman to multiple men. And like I said, though that may surprise or shock you, it's actually a thing and is permissible in some communities, And then there is polygyny, which is the situation of a man marrying multiple wives, which is more commonly practiced in Nigeria and in, some places in Africa, and which is what many of us sometimes erroneously refer to as just polygamy, And then I spoke about polyamory, which means sexual relations that are not necessarily bound within marriages or bound by marriages, but which allows for a person to be with multiple partners, with all those partners being aware and consenting to such liaisons. So that were the concepts I tried to explain, all under polygamy. Then I spoke about the things that the law permits, and some of the things I spoke about that the law permits is that, number one, the law permits for a man to marry up to 4 wives under Islam, and does not prescribe any limit to the number of women a man may marry under native law and custom. So if the marriage is customary, it means that the man is entitled to, he's permitted to marry as many wives as he's inclined to marry, and it will not be unlawful. And I said that just as a monogamous marriage is valid, polygamous marriages are valid too. So there is nothing that invalidates a polygamous marriage if that marriage was contracted, or if those marriages were contracted under native law and custom. And I also said that the law permits for children born within polygamous homes to be entitled to inheriting from their parents, just as their counterparts who are born in monogamous families. There is no discrimination that should occasion a child on the mere basis that he comes or she comes from a polygamous home. And I additionally said that as every other right that accrues to a child, even in a polygamous home, children are entitled to the respect and the protection of their best interests. So when parents in a polygamous home are taking decisions on their children, or are attending to their children on every affair that concerns the child, they must prioritize the best interest of those children, regardless of the kind of marriage that they have contracted. And then I said, the law forbids certain things, but I'll discuss three. Number one being that polygamy is not tolerated, is not permitted in a statutory marriage. So a statutory marriage is simply a marriage that is intended to be monogamous. It is supposed to be a marriage between one man and one woman. So not anything that is suggestive of polygamy or bigamy or polygyny, whichever it is not permissible under statutory marriages. So nobody is permitted to marry multiple wives if that person has contracted a statutory marriage, unless that first marriage, being the statutory one, is first dissolved or annulled, or whatever case it be. Then I said that the law also prohibits, the law forbids any case of domestic abuse, even in a polygamous marriage. So while it may be perceived that in a polygamous home, maybe the man is elevated to the status of a god, where he can do whatever he wants with any of the women, that's not what the law prescribes. Anything that disrespects, anything that diminishes, that abuses, violates the rights, the dignity of any human being is strongly condemned by the law. So what it means is that even in a polygamous home, everybody in that home, including the women and the children, are entitled to the respect and the protection of their dignity of human persons. And I also said that just as the law forbids unnatural relations, that extends even in polygamous marriages. So in Nigeria, the polygamy that is permissible is that polygamy that happens between a man and multiple wives. It does not extend to a man marrying multiple men, or a woman marrying multiple women, because same-sex relations is prohibited in Nigeria. So even in a polygamous situation, it will remain prohibited in Nigeria. Just as sexual intercourse with animals and young children and even persons of blood relations, incest, all of those are prohibited. All of those are forbidden, even in polygamy. So that's a recap of what we have discussed tonight. And of course, you know the drill. Haven't listened to me, haven't heard all of what I have for you, this is that time where you reciprocate. Make it a real intercourse. Talk to me. Let me hear your questions and take your comments, if any. After you're done asking me your questions, I always get a chance to then ask the question that gets to earn you a prize if you're lucky to be the winner. So go ahead and ask me your questions. Let me see what we have tonight. And while at it, please share. Share with your friends, share with your family, so that more people can join us and learn from tonight's episode. So I'm checking to see if there are any questions. Wow. Okay, someone is saying the network is not allowing him to join the program, but so sorry. Okay, that's Leo. Okay, he goes ahead to confirm that he's getting it now. Okay, thank you. So I do not see any questions here yet. Let me check on the other platforms. Let me check. Thank you very much, Daniel. He says, keep up the good work. Oh, Lola, thank you so much. Thank you. Lola says more grace. Thank you, dearie. Thank you. And Obonda Wachuku says, keep up the good work. Thank you. I appreciate the commendations. I appreciate. So I'm looking to see your questions. I'm looking to see what questions you have for me tonight, or whatever comments it is you have. This is an intercourse. Don't you ever forget that. So what that means is that I always expect to hear from you, to read from you, just as you listen to me. So go ahead and send me those questions so that I take them. Go ahead and send me the questions. I'm looking to see your questions before I ask mine. I'm looking to see your questions. I can't find a question in the chat boxes. I can't find a question. I don't like it when you don't ask me a question. I don't know how I get the assurance that you understand what we're discussing. Come on. Okay, so since I don't have a question from you, I guess that means I should go ahead and ask you mine. Okay, my question tonight will be, my question tonight will be, what difference did you observe between polygyny, polyandry, and polyamory? Yes. I explained those three concepts. I explained all three of them. Okay, somebody asked a question. He says he couldn't meet up early because of network issue. Does everyone in a polygamous family have equal rights? I think that's what he meant to write. Well, the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria says that there is no discrimination among persons. We can't discriminate against anyone. So what that means is that if you cannot discriminate between a man and a woman, a husband and a wife, it means that everybody is equal before the law. And even in a polygamous marriage, everybody is equal. Except that, being that it is a marriage under native law and custom, the custom will then prescribe what obtains. So, since even amongst equals, is likely to, there should be, like a first among the equals. The man will then be the head of the home, and the wives, of course, his supporters. So does that necessarily mean that they're not equal to him? No, that's not what it means. But it means that the buck will have to stop on someone's table. Somebody will have to make the overriding vote, as it were. Someone will have the right to exercise some veto, over the decisions of the family. So to that extent, while all persons are equal before the law, all human beings are equal, in a polygamous marriage, chances are that there will be levels to that equality. I don't know if that answers the question. So, but I'm checking to see if I have an answer to my own question. I asked you a question, and that is the question that will get you the winning prize. Of course, a 5,000 Naira data subscription for the first prize winner, and then consolation prizes to 2 other winners. Fastest finger. What is the difference between polygyny, polyandry, and polyamory? I'm looking to read your response so that I get my winner tonight and call it a wrap. And if you prefer to just send in your response or your question via WhatsApp, you may send it to 090 80 I'll repeat, 090 80 That's if you prefer to send your message on WhatsApp. Otherwise, you can just comment in the comment section, whether you're joining us live from Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, that's X, yes. Wherever it is you're joining us from, you can just post your question in the comment section, and I will see it and I'll respond to it. Okay. Leo is still complaining badly about the network. So sorry about that. I wish there was something I could do to help. My apologies if the network was messy. My apologies. My apologies. My apologies. I'm allowing 2 more minutes to see if I get a winner for tonight's prizes. I haven't seen an answer. I haven't seen an answer. I haven't seen an answer. In 2 more minutes, I'll take it that we didn't get an answer for tonight. And we will defer the prize to another episode. Okay, Obunne Mike says his question has been answered. Thank you very much. I'm happy that you got the answer you desired. Thank you. Okay, it appears we just got a response. Oh, Anthony Ekbete. He says polygamy means, okay, polygyny, man marrying many wives. Polyamory, one man with many sexual partners. Polyandry, one woman marrying many men. Okay, Oluwasegun Idowu says polygyny has to do with a man having more than one wife. Polyandry has to do with a woman having more than one husband. He didn't get the full explanation because he joined late. Oh, and he now comments us to say an enlightening session. Thank you very much, Oluwasegun. Okay, so Oluwasegun got 2 of the answers correct, just as Anthony Ekpete got 2 correct. Anthony correctly said that polygyny means a man marrying many wives, and polyandry, no. Polyamory, one man with, no. Polyandry, one woman. Aha, he got polyandry correct. He got polygyny correct. He didn't get polyamory correct. Yes, both Anthony Ekpete and Oluwasegun Idowu did not get polyamory correct. So to that extent, we have 2 attempts that are close to correct, since they got 2 answers correct and dismissing the last one. So I'm checking to see who gives me a response that gets the 3 answers correctly, and that person will be our first prize winner. So for the purposes of tonight's episode, Anthony and Oluwasegun are consolation prizes winners of 2,000 naira data subscription each. So I'm checking to see who wins the 5,000 naira prize. Who wins the 5,000 naira prize? I hope I'm not missing any responses. I can't find further responses. Somebody is sending a message on WhatsApp. Isaac is sending a message on WhatsApp. I'm wondering, Isaac, I hope you're connected to us. His question on WhatsApp suggests he's not connected. I don't know what's happening at his end. My apologies. I don't think it's from here. Thank you so much. My big sis, Chigozie Udemezue. Thank you so much for sharing the post. Thank you. God bless you richly. I appreciate. Thank you so much. Thank you, Pretty V. Thank you, Leo, for sharing. Thank you. Thank you to all of you who have shared so that your friends and your family can also learn. Thank you so much. Thank you. The more enlightened our society is, the better protected we all are. And that's the focus of this intercourse, to ensure that more people are aware of the provisions of the law around the subjects, subject matters within family law. It's intended to protect each of us, because I believe that if we know better, many of us will do better and avoid those situations that expose us to avoidable abuse or avoidable hurt. So please share so that one person will learn. You may be helping somebody get out of ignorance. Thank you. So since I didn't find a winner for the star prize, I think this would be a good place to call it a wrap. As always, it is Chioma onyenucheya-uko, the Zest family lawyer, bringing you fresh, enlightening episodes of the Late Night Intercourse every Thursday at 10 p.m. Please don't miss it next week. And if you have any subject you'd like for us to discuss, if you have any question you'd like for me to respond to or tackle, is there anything that you're worried about, that you don't quite understand, that is within the family law spectrum? Feel free to drop that topic in the comment section. Send it to me on Facebook Messenger, on WhatsApp. You can send us an email at latenightintercourse@gmail.com via any of our channels. And I promise to take it on and bring us, enlightening angles to that topic at subsequent episodes. See you again, same time next week on another episode of the Late Night Intercourse. Thank you so much, and do enjoy a beautiful night rest. Bye-bye.